Hello. Oh, dang it. Stupid mini Moldorm. In the doorway I should be safe. Hello everyone, Treecks here. Great way to start. The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. We're at part 12 and last time we stopped at Skull Woods. At least at the final part of Skull Woods. We got the Fire Rod as the dungeon item. And we're about to tackle the part which is going to bring us to the boss of this place. Which is a mini Moldorm. Of course not. I am close to dying, but I've got plenty of fairies in my bottles, so I'm not really worried. But anyway, first we want to tackle this section down here. This kind of a maze-like area. The bridge above us actually obscures our route here, but if you fiddle around with your D-pad enough, you will eventually find a route through here until you reach the north of this room. And then head south again in the second room, and apparently there's something to turn us into a bunny there, and there's also something there to kill us. But like I said, I'm not really going to die. I have fairies. I do have one less now, but still. I felt safe enough. And this is the reason why we wanted to go there. We have a key. Officially I didn't even have to grab this one because of me skipping out on a key door at the first part of the dungeon. I have a key to spare this time, right? I'm going to have one key left whenever the dungeon is done, which is also pretty funny to do. Not using up all keys. Because of the way this place is designed, you actually don't have to. But anyway, this room actually has star switch puzzles, you can see. We need to make our way from one star switch to the other until we reach the door. Pretty easy to do, not really that hard. Even the berries make it easy for us by heading into the top right corner where they can't threaten us. Stupid creatures. Okay, next room. The Fire Rod is going to get its real first use, you might say. Not opening up a door, but actually getting used in a puzzle. Gyptos are actually really easy to defeat with the Fire Rod. Just like Gyptos in other Zelda games, whenever you use a fire item on them, they die in one hit. Their bandages are super weak against fire, and the Fire Rod is a good way to get rid of them. But okay, we need to light up all these torches, and the Fire Rod is the only way to do it. Because one of these torches, as you can see, is on the other side of a couple of gaps, so the lantern is not going to be an option here. The first real use of the Fire Rod. Oh, thank you for the magic, because I'm going to need a lot of magic for the boss. And I'm not too sure if you get a full heal from a pot somewhere. But okay, dead end. Or not, because there's a door to the north. Once again, you can just check out on your map if you're not too sure where you need to look. Because the map, once again, shows it off. It is there. Okay, the Gypto needs to be defeated because it has a key. Unless you have a spare key like me. And then you will find this room over here with a gap leading to the second basement floor. And remember, the second basement floor only has one room, and it is the boss room. So you know, this is boss time. It's a pretty weird way to enter a boss room, you might say. But this is definitely... Oh! Don't get grabbed by the wall master. But okay, let's stop laughing and let's start being serious. Mothula is our third boss in the Dark World. And it's a pretty chaotic boss in all honesty, because there's a lot of moving floor and moving spikes and him moving around erratically and shooting rings at us. There's just a lot of stuff moving around here. And defeating him is a matter of shooting him a lot with your Fire Rod, because he's weak against it. And if you run out of magic, you can also defeat him with your sword. It just takes more hits with your sword. He's weak against the Fire Rod, so that's your best bet. Pretty chaotic, hard boss, but the fight does not last very long if you use the Fire Rod. Dungeon 3 is complete. Treecks, thanks to you, I was able to escape the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. Do you know the prophecy of the Great Cataclysm? This is the way I heard it. If a person with an evil heart gets the Triforce, a hero is destined to appear. That's us. And he alone must face the person who unleashed the Great Cataclysm. And that would be Ganondorf. If the evil one destroys the hero, Nothing can save the world from his wicked reign. Only a member of the Knights of Hyrule who protected the Hylian royalty can become the hero. You are of their bloodline, aren't you? Then you must rescue Zelda without fail. Well, I didn't plan to. I understand my duty. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. Hell yeah! Yeah, that's going to be a thing from in every dungeon from now on. But okay, apparently we are the only one who can defeat the Great Cataclysm, which is in the form of Ganon, the King of Evil. Because of him wishing for this evil world, we automatically were also born. Apparently it always works like that. Whenever a big evil person steps up, an equally good person steps up, which is in this case us. Link, the hero. But okay, on our way out of here, let's quickly check out the one room we have not seen in this dungeon. At least technically we did see the room, but not this part of the room. We did come here to the south of this part a moment ago, but you couldn't access the north, and this way you can. But like I explained then in the previous part, there is nothing there. But you can also use it as a shortcut back towards Thieves Town. It's actually always what I do. Because we don't really have a way to warp in the Dark World. We have the reset warp still. The flute warping actually only works on the Light World, and reset warping will only give us the option to go to the Pyramid of Power in the Dark World, and that won't help us because we need to go to Thieves Town next, to Dungeon 4, which is really close to the Skull Woods, so you would be a fool to warp. So just make your way through the Skull Woods in order to get here again. And since we took the liberty of clearing this place out the moment we got access to it already, we can immediately enter Dungeon 4, Thieves Town. A dungeon that I usually immediately do after the first one, but this time around, since the Let's Play is a thing, might as well keep myself to the order, and I'll do it now. Thieves Town is in all honesty the most interesting dungeon, I think. The first part of the dungeon is actually 4 giant rooms which are connected to each other, which we need to traverse through first before we actually access the dungeon. You can kind of see it here on the first basement floor. 4 giant rooms in the south. And then the rest of the dungeon is attached to the north of that. There's also a couple of rooms in the second basement. And we have a first floor, which is not really that big. As you can see here, just 1 corridor and 2 rooms. But we'll see all of that once we make our way through this place. First, the 4 giant rooms. So it was called the first phase of this dungeon. The first room is the southwestern one. It's the one where you enter the dungeon, and it's where the map can be found. And then we want to make our way to the southeastern room. And we immediately turn into a bunny. Okay, this southeastern room actually houses another chest for us. Let's grab it. Compass! So we have those 2 out of the way quite quickly here. Where is the boss of this place? Apparently in that room to the north. Which looks like to be pretty easily accessible from this point. It's quite early on in the dungeon. And take note of the room above it and the first floor. That's actually going to be of importance when solving the big puzzle of this place. Because it looks like to be easy, but there's actually a big puzzle attached to this place. And already finding the big key here also gives away that there's a big puzzle going to be involved. Because you might think, boss door pretty near the entrance of the dungeon, and already having the big key, what's stopping us from accessing the boss immediately? Well, you will find out in a minute, folks. But anyway, with everything gotten in these 4 rooms, we can enter the true dungeon. As you can see, big key required, because there's a big key door. We do need to pick that up in the 4 giant rooms. Okay, here we find the boss room. So, let's fight the boss. Only problem is, apparently nobody is home. We are at the boss room. We should be able to fight off a giant monster, get our heart container, save the maiden. But there is nothing here. Interesting. Let's grab the key under the pot here and let's move further into the dungeon, because obviously there's more on the surface than meets the eye. Getting further and further into the dungeon will shed more light on the situation. And that choice of words is not for nothing. Shedding light on the situation. Okay, these rooms we need to traverse through are pretty standard. Nothing really too special about them. Just a couple of challenges. These things are annoying, by the way. Let's see if I can grab myself a fairy. These things, as you can see, they have a core, and once they shoot their core out of their body, only then you can damage them. Thank you. Wasted the fairy in the previous dungeon, so I was able to catch a new one. Okay, don't get bothered by these conveyor belts. It does make walking around harder, but there's no excuse to get hit all of a sudden. Okay, I've got enough fairies in my bottles, but I can also just grab one directly. So I'm full health again. It's been a while. Okay, more floor traps that are stuck. And there's also a switch here, so we are going to free these guys. But not quite yet. Because we don't need to press the switch yet. First we want to go to the first floor. Find these singular rooms and the corridor in between. Let's see what the gist is about here. These bats are actually hiding telepathy tile. Treecks, it is me, Zelda. Don't be deceived by the magic of Blind the Thief. Be careful. Blind the Thief? Go away. I want to be a bunny. But anyway, Blind the Thief. Remember him from the story from Kakariko Village? And this thing is never going to run out, isn't it? Oh, it is. Oh, thank you. But yeah, remember in Kakariko Village how they talked about a big famous thief living there once. Blind the Thief. Who actually hates light. Then all of a sudden he was gone. And remember how Thieves Town is actually on the location in the Dark World where in the Light World Kakariko Village is. There is a connection with Thieves Town and Blind the Thief. And this first floor is actually the key to it. We find a couple of windows here, as you can see. Windows with light coming out of it. And you guess what we're going to do here. Blind the Thief actually hates light. And this place actually has some light. There's bombs here in case you don't have them, because you are going to be required to hit the cracked floor here. Where the window is. And I missed. There we go. The light will shine through the crack in the floor now. And if you remember correctly by looking at the map, this room we were just at is actually directly above the boss door. So right now, there is actually light shining down on the boss room. Not really sure why we're doing that, because there was nobody here, so why the hell would that help us? Once again, we're not done yet in this place. After all, we still have to find the dungeon item, because weirdly designed dungeon or not, there's still going to be a dungeon item, and for that we need to go to the second basement floor. We are in possession of the big key, so finding the big chest is not going to be a problem. We can immediately open it once we do. So let's head in here and see what we can find. We can head left here, but that will also immediately take us out of this section, so let's go to the right first. Because there's something a little bit more important here. Here we actually find the holding cells of this place. A dungeon that is actually used as a dungeon. Who would have guessed? But here we find a lot of cell doors which are locked, and there are not this many for nothing. What is this place hiding? That apparently a lot of locks are necessary to prevent from someone to find it. Of course, more bunny stuff. Here we actually find the next maiden. Aren't you guys supposed to be in crystals? Why are you just locked in a regular cell? Also, key. Let's go talk to her. Oh, thank you so much. You saved my life. Please take me outside. Okay, a little bit of a weird way to save a maiden, because normally we defeat the boss and they're locked in these crystals and we need to save them that way. But apparently the master of this place decided to just put her in a cell. Ah, here we have the big chest. I was wondering where that thing was. Do be quick though, because as you can see there's actually a floor trap here. But here we find the Titan's Mitt. Now you can lift the heaviest stones that you were once impossible to budge. We have the level 2 Power Glove. From now on, all of the dark stones or dark skulls, and at least everything we couldn't lift earlier, is now accessible to us. No new item, just an upgrade to an already existing item. This room over here you can ignore. This is actually another trap room. You find more of this throughout the game, but I'm going to ignore this one. I really don't like that room, so not even going to show it off for completion's sake. I always end up killing myself there, so not gonna bother. Let's just make our way, quote-unquote, outside. Because this girl following us along, not being in a crystal, is suspicious, right? That is because something is up. A few minutes ago we actually managed to get some light in this room, and if we get this girl in the light... Yeah, too bright! She reveals herself to be actually Blind the Thief. And Blind the Thief is the boss for this place. And he's pretty annoying. The first phase is pretty easy because he actually just dances around and shoots some projectiles every once in a while. But once you've hit him enough times, his head will fall off. Start going around the room shooting, and Blind will actually return. And this can get pretty annoying because the heads that start flying around shooting their projectiles can be pretty deadly, as you can imagine. But luckily in all phases he does not require too many hits, so usually I just make a damage race out of this guy and kill him before he kills me. Heart container, and here is the actual maiden, just locked in the crystal, as she is supposed to be. But we will still save her, of course. Treecks, thanks to you, I was able to escape the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. It's the same dialogue again. As the sages sealed the way to the Dark World, the Knights of Hyrule defended them from the attacks of evil monsters. I heard that the Knights of Hyrule were nearly wiped out in that battle. You are perhaps the last one to carry on the bloodline of those knights. It's ironic that the last one in the line has the potential to become the hero of legend. Well, not the last one for nothing, you can also see it that way. Surely you can destroy Ganon. Do you understand? I do. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. Hell yeah. 4 dungeons done. Only 3 more to go. We're across the halfway point of saving the Maidens, so the Dark World is a prey to us. That won't last much longer. But okay, we did get a dungeon item, we did not use it in the dungeon itself, but here we can. Remember the frog that was stuck to the south of the Thieves Town? Now we can actually get him out of here. Let's go talk to the guy. Ribbit, your body did not change. You're not just an ordinary guy, are you? I used to live in Kakariko town. I wonder what my buddy is doing there without me. Ribbit, I have a request for you. I beg you, please take me to my partner. Please, Ribbit, please. He talks about a partner. And if we dig in our memory, we actually find someone else who also talked about a missing partner. The blacksmith, the Dwarven blacksmith to the east of Kakariko. So let's take him there. Once again, we have dark rocks that we cannot lift without the Titan's Mitt, but luckily we have the Titan's Mitt, so we can save this guy. We can take him along with our magic mirror, and we'll immediately change back into the Dwarven he is. And let's reunite him. Oh, what is this? You found my partner? Happy days are here again. Drop by here again sometime, then we will temper your sword perfectly. And yes, they are not lying. You actually need to leave before you can talk to them again. Hey, you, welcome. Ask us for whatever you need. Temper my sword. I will give you a big discount. Sword tempering for only 10 rupees. Well, saving them was worth it seems. Tempering, eh? Are you sure? Alright, no problem. We'll have to keep your sword for a while. Okay, these guys will actually make our sword stronger. We can no longer use it. As you can see, pressing B will now give us a punching move instead of using our sword. Which is useless, by the way, it's not an attack. It's only temporary, you can return here very quickly. But since we're here, we can immediately grab ourselves the next thing in the Dark World. Because of the dark rocks here, this place was inaccessible to us earlier. But now that we have the Titan's Mitt, we can do this. And there's a lot of these pegs here. So pound them all into the ground. Ignore the skeleton cuckoos here. They work the same as regular cuckoos, they're just skeletons. Because of this being the Dark World. But the puzzle here is pound all of these things into the ground. And the tree stump will turn into a staircase. And of course, that will have the next piece of heart for us. And in fact, it's our fourth one again, so another heart container. Giving us 16 hearts in total. Good luck dying now. But okay, that quick little detour was enough for the Dwarven smithies to temper our sword, I think. Like I said, they're usually done pretty quickly. Your sword is tempered. Now hold it. Great, your sword is stronger. You can feel the sheer power flowing through your body. The Master Sword is tempered. It is even stronger now. The level 3 sword is in our possession. It even has a beautiful orange glow to it. And that powerful sword we will use to tackle the final 3 dungeons in this world. So, yeah, I see the time is up, so I think I'm going to have to quit now. Dungeon 5 is coming up next in the middle of Lake Hylia on the Dark World. Let's see what that place can bring us. Thanks for watching and see you guys next time when this adventure continues. Treecks out.